Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Fight fans worldwide, you've tuned into the #1 undisputed boxing podcast today. This is the Boxing Breakdown. Now, your heavy-handed, hard-hitting host, Mark Roxey.
What's up, what's up, what's up? What's going on, boxing fans? I am your host. This is Mark Roxey, and you are listening to the Boxing Breakdown. Welcome, everybody. It's great to see you and hear you. And if you are tuning in on YouTube, please make sure you hit the subscribe and like button and those notifications down below, right down there. Make sure that if you want to get in on the comments, please feel free to, post your comments. We'll see your comments coming up here. And and I'm delighted that you'll be joining us tonight. I am also delighted to welcome into the studio, as always, my partner in crime and in boxing, Mr. Harold Hunt, professional boxing judge. Here he comes. What's up, Harold?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I am good. I couldn't be better. I had a busy day today. I was in the gym. The boys are getting ready to rumble tomorrow's weigh-ins. We got two fighters fighting tomorrow. I'd like to take a moment to shout out the two fighters, Jonathan Rodriguez and Kai Wheeler, both from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. They're going to be fighting on Marshall Kaufman's card at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. It is going to be an amazing day of boxing, and I believe there's two cards, actually. There's a 3 p.m. card, and then there's also an 8 p.m. card, and from the two cards, from my understanding, man, there's like 10 tickets left between the two cards at $50. So boxing fans are back. Marshall Kaufman is kicking it off in Philadelphia with a great card. If you would like to know more about the card, go to King's Boxing Promotions and you can read all about it. There's a lot of wonderful fighters on that card, but I am particularly interested in the fighters that I have the honor and pleasure of working with, which I mentioned a moment ago. And without further ado, man, I'd like to chop it up. We are going to be talking everything Mayweather, Wilder, and Oscar Delahoya. The update is going to be fun and exciting. So, Harold, what you got on Mayweather?
Well, let's start with Mr. Mayweather. He is so wise at this point. He is in a situation where he's in a no-lose situation because all publicity, positive or negative, is good publicity. And people will buy those tickets. They're like, oh, I hate this situation. He's fighting a nobody, blah, blah, blah. But I've got to see it. I've got to see it. And then he's doing the perfect thing, Mark. The gloves start at 16, and now they're 12. Now they're 10 ounces. I want 8-ounce gloves because I really want to squirt some blood.
Yeah.
Then the commission has even come in on it and says, yes, knockouts will be allowed. Previous exhibitions, if someone gets hurt, they just stop the thing. They don't allow any staggering around, any counts, any of that. They just stop it. But for this situation, they're going to allow a knockout. So if Floyd knocks him out or he knocks Floyd out, they're going to allow it to be a knockdown. Now, there's no judging, of course. So just trotting that out, that there's going to be knockdown, and trotting out that the gloves are going to be smaller. All that is just adding to the whole mystique of the whole thing. And it's on a Sunday. So he's not competing with anything on Saturday, right? So it's a Sunday thing. It's a Sunday massacre.
Bloody massacre.
Now, what's happening is, it doesn't matter. Jake Paul is 6'7", 250 pounds. You're talking about a skill set. And Mark, we talked about this before. When you're a boxer, you are a registered weapon. You're a weapon. You are a weapon. You can be sued because you're a weapon against a novice. You can get a license to be a fighter. You know that. So he's a fighter by the state, but he has no skill set, nothing. He throws everything sloppy. It's just a walk in the park for Floyd. The same type of thing we saw with the Japanese fighter, but even worse, because the Japanese fighter did have some discipline. He was a champion in some type of martial art. He knew how to throw a punch and move and all this. This gentleman, Mr. Paul, has absolutely 100% nothing. So this is such a money grab, but it's so well done. So as I look at it that way, I commend Floyd. I also commend some of those fighters who are going to get a chance to get a little bit of this money that he's going to put out there, and he's going to carve out his own niche. If he continues to do these things, he's going to do them on Sundays. He's not going to try to compete with the other people. Why? If I want to buy a pay-per-view on Saturday, I will. If I see his thing on Sunday, I'll buy it too. So I'm just very happy that the eyeballs get put on boxing. People don't like it. Some people don't like it. But the ones who don't like it are the ones who can't generate that kind of eyeballs, generate that kind of money. They're complaining about it. Well, I was a fighter and I worked hard, and there's other fighters who need that opportunity or aren't getting that because Floyd's doing that. But Floyd is in the position where he can garner that type of thing. If you was in that position and you can garner that type of thing, you would do the same thing and you would let other people complain. So it's just something that I commend him on. I commend the networks allowing this. I mean, who see the money in it, they do. The price point is applicable. It is. The undercard is decent. It was better, but Pascal pulled out.
Right.
So,
well, did he pull out?
Yes, he pulled out. He either he was sick or he got hurt or something. So the other gentleman is fighting somebody because there was going to be a rematch of their big Gian Love and Pascal. Pascal pulled out. They got to find someone else. So let's unpack. Then you got Chad. You got an NFL receiver who's going to be fighting. All right. Okay. So he's involved. So to the person who is not necessarily a fight fan, a football player, I want to see that. And you have a decent fight, and you want to see Floyd, and you want to see Paul. So I know I'm just kind of rambling on, but I'm happy with the whole thing, actually. Yeah, well, you're not rambling. I think it was a brilliant introduction to what's been going on with Mayweather and Logan Paul. I think the Boxing Breakdown fans and listeners are definitely interested in what you're saying. And certainly, it helps to know, what the table looks like as it's being set, so to speak. But I do want to unpack some of this with you because you mentioned earlier on, you mentioned the gloves. So have they decided as to whether or not the gloves are actually going to be 8-ounce gloves or 10-ounce gloves? Has that decision actually been made? Yes, 10-ounce gloves are going to be used. Floyd just came out and said he wanted 8-ounce gloves so he could really have some impact on his opponent, thereby causing seepage of fluid. Okay, so do you think, Harold, that was, I need 8-ounce gloves because this dude is so big? Because the guy is big. I mean, if you look the way, and it looks like, Andre the Giant and Pee Wee Herman, or that's not a good analogy, but Mark.
Yeah.
Mark, you are a seasoned trainer.
No, I'm just being devil's
go down
advocate.
in the Hall of Fame as one of the greatest trainers as you go along with your process. No
Thank
doubt.
you, Harold. Thank you.
Yes. And Floyd hits him to the body, one punch in the right place. It is completely over, no matter how big he is.
All right.
Doesn't even matter. Women might even go to the body or the solar plexus shot or the liver shot or any of that stuff for a round or two. Just so the boys stand up. And then he hits him one time, it's over.
For all intent, listen, Harold, for all intent and purposes, man, I am bringing it up because I'm sure there's some listeners out there. There's some people that are going to tune into this video cast or the audio podcast, which, by the way, can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Alexa, or anywhere you get your podcasts. If you're listening out there and you happen to be a YouTuber or a YouTube fan or a Logan Paul fan or a Jake Paul fan, whatever that's about, right? I'm just saying it for them, Harold. I'm saying, do you think, just to put it out of their mind in case they were wondering if, Floyd got a little nervous or something like that, and he said, I need these 8-ounce gloves because I don't think I can put this big monster down. You're saying that's not part of the conversation, right?
No. Now,
okay.
As you know, Mark, those heavy gloves, when they get sweat, they get heavy. Those sparring gloves, 10, 12 ounces, when you work with them all day long, they get very heavy. It's not like they're softer. They're just heavier to throw. But they gain a few OZs as you sweat or whatever. So bigger gloves aren't necessarily softer gloves.
Listen,
you know this,
Harold. So if I hit somebody,
doesn't really matter.
If I hit somebody with a 10-ounce glove with this hand right here, they are sleeping. Okay, yes. 10-ounce gloves are not a joke, bro. 10-ounce gloves
or 12-ounce glove, they're sleeping because you know where to place that punch. That's the whole point.
But particularly a 10-ounce glove from a welterweight, a true welterweight, or who knows what he's going to rehydrate at? Is he going to come in at 150, 160? Probably. I mean, what was the catch weight for the fight? What were the actual weights?
Man, I didn't even pay attention to it. And the reason I didn't pay attention to it because it's a moot point. He has no clue. His body doesn't know how to handle a solar plex punch or a kidney punch or a punch on the sternum. No clue. He may look good or whatever cosmetically, but he's not trained to take anything of that at all, 100%. It doesn't matter if he got 18-ounce gloves. If he hits him in the sternum, if he hits him in the solar plex, if he hits him in any, just the deliverance of the punch is like, it's such a mismatch. It is unbelievable, but you have to let it go because people want to see what's going to happen. And if you watch any footage of Logan Paul,
right,
so incredibly sloppy with every attempt to throw any kind of punch.
Right.
There is no crispness. So, cleanness, if you want to use that word.
Crisp, baby, crisp. We use the word crisp. I want it crisp, like cookie crisp.
Cookie crisp. No such thing. The delivery is low to high. It's not even straight off the shoulder. There's nothing there.
Wow.
But you always want to have what could happen. So right now it's kind of like when you buy a lottery ticket. You know how you buy a lottery ticket, Mark?
Yeah.
And you haven't scratched it off yet, or they haven't did the numbers yet, but you're dreaming. Ooh, I'm gonna take this number, buy this, and buy that. All the way up to that point where you scratch it off, or they call the numbers out. You're enjoying the whole situation. Ooh, yes. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You're excited. You're loving it.
You already bought the boat.
But you're loving that whole build-up. This is what we're seeing here. The build-up is like, ooh, he could probably beat up Floyd. Ooh, this, ooh, that. So people are excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
But guess what? that lottery ticket is going to get scratched. And when it gets scratched, boom, that's it. Because it's going to be, Floyd is like, this is like a sitcom. That's your line. This is my line. This is your line. This is my line. He's going to, I don't know how long he'll take it. Maybe he'll take it 6 rounds. He'll take it 8 rounds. You know, who knows what he's going to take it, what he's going to do.
Right.
The referee is not going to let a man that big just come over and just grab him. That's not going to happen. So you know there's going to be a lot of breakups, okay? And we know the man cannot throw no hammer punches or hammer fists or nothing like that because he even have that discipline to even cheat like that. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He's going to try to throw straight right hands and all this kind of stuff. And you know Floyd sees all that coming from a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
Floyd's kid could get in there and knock this boy out. The one that's, what, 18, 19?
Yeah. Listen, here's the thing. I think it's very interesting that they're now allowing knockouts. Now, do you think they're now allowing knockouts because there's a money issue? They're trying to get more fans, or do you think they've got enough fans and they want a bigger show, a better show? What do you think, Harold?
Well, when Nate Campbell got knocked out on that Triller card right there, okay, that was the whole highlight of the whole thing. They wasn't going to let Roy and Tyson knock each other out. That wasn't going to happen.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And the other fights, that wasn't going to happen. But in that situation, he got knocked out, not because they didn't allow, he just got hit. And then his staggering around and all of that, the way he was dropped, that was a sensational thing for Triller.
Right.
So you got to have that calling card. So imagine a 6'2", whatever dude crashing to the canvas, which he will crash to the canvas.
Right.
He will crash to the canvas. And it's not even going to be like a headshot. This is going to be a body shot.
Right.
This is going to be a body shot. Floyd's not going to try to hurt his hands on nobody's jaw. He's not going to be trying to jab him to the face. He's not going to be doing none of that. He may do that a little bit, but then when he gets tired of the situation, he's going to go to the body and it will be over.
Right.
He'll save his hands. Jake Paul will be able to get in front of the cameras. He won't look too bad. And when it's all over, the post thing will be great. And it'll be just great. You know what this reminds me of, Mark?
What?
I used to do MMA inspector. And those MMA guys, man, they would go in there and they would turn to these animals. They would go out and they would get beat. And they would come back to the dressing room to get dressed. And they were so still excited. Like, ooh, man, I got my butt kicked. They lost, bleeding, cut, whatever. But they were just so excited. Whereas boxers, when they lose, they're very cerebral. They come back, they sit down, they think about what they did wrong, what they could have did, blah, 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 blah. But not an MMA fighter. Jake Paul is going to go in there, take what he's going to take, and come back out all excited. Look what I did, blah, 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 and just be all in front of the camera. It's going to just completely sell the next thing he or his brother does.
Listen, let me tell you.
And Floyd's going to keep his face intact so he could do that.
Well, Harold, I'm just going to play for you what Logan Paul thinks he's going to do, okay? So I'm going to play a little soundbite for you. Check it out.
Okay.
See if I can get this thing to play here.
There's always those big events, and you always remember where you were and who you were with and how you were feeling and the celebration, and that's it. Where were you when Logan Paul beat Floyd Mayweather?
Oh, so, this guy is drinking some Kool-Aid. He's pretty sure, Logan Paul's pretty sure that he's going to beat Mayweather, man. And I mean, I don't know what to say. He, either he's absolutely crazy or he's a genius. It's one or the other. Or he doesn't care if he gets beat because he's going to make so much money, he's going to be bathing in money.
Well, Mark, you are taking the high road because of all people, you know exactly what's going to happen. But you have to foil me. I've got to say what I've got to say. Yeah. You've got to say what you have to say. The listeners, they're going to be like, okay, but Mark, you want to move on to Wilder?
Yeah, bro. Listen, I do want to.
Honestly,
I do want to move on to Wilder. I do.
Let them have their build up. Let them say and all the pundits and the writers. Let them do all of that. Man, Floyd is just like, please, do you not even do you know boxing? Do you know what the skill set I possess? It doesn't matter if I'm 5'4". I can be 5'2", and this dude is not even.
Look, he's gonna get smoked. He's gonna get smoked.
Man,
and look, I'm just trying to be neutral. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. I'm trying to include the fans, the listeners, the Boxing Breakdown, so that they get a feeling. You know, maybe they might. You know, there might be a Logan Paul fan out there, man, and I don't want him to be so crestfallen, broken apart, like, oh man, my guy's gonna lose, and you know, I'm just trying to give him a little bit of hope, just a little bit. So listen, there's no judges. It's coming. It's going down on Bloody Sunday, right?
Yes, it is.
It's going to be a walk in the park for Floyd Mayweather. It's a money grab.
Supposedly, I'm retracting some of my comments. There's always a chance that there's two sons.
He can get him. He can throw a lucky punch, and boy, it's boxing, right? So
there could be a dodo bird that survived extinction. We don't know.
Listen, I have a suggestion for Floyd Mayweather Jr., and that is that he should come into the ring with like a black strip with eye cut out, so he looks like a bank robber, like from a cartoon, like a bank robber with like an old Mickey, the guy from Rocky, a Mickey hat, right, and 2 money bags, because he's basically robbing the bank.
He did that already. He wore the ski mask. Remember he wore the ski mask?
Yeah.
What fight was that one?
Well,
he wore a ski mask already.
He needs the stripes.
Was it the Connor fight?
Yeah, he needs the stripes, the white and black stripes.
But you want him to have the whole regalia.
I want the whole setup, man. I want him to tiptoe into the ring with his bags, put him down, and then when he leaves, tiptoe out of the ring, down the catwalk, down to the dressing room with his bag, getting his. I mean, I don't even know what kind of car he's going to roll up in, but whatever it is, one of his 1,000 cars. Hey, look, I can't take my hat off because I got my headphones off, but hats off to Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. I think it's great for boxing. I think, we're going to get a lot of new fans. This guy, Logan Paul, looks like he should be on, what's that?
Body Beautiful.
No, Harold, not Body Beautiful. The thing with the Hunger Games. He looks like one of the cats from the Hunger Games, bro.
Oh, okay.
He could get a role on the Hunger Games after this, on the next movie that they make of the Hunger Games. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of this Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather stuff. Let's move on to the Deontay Wilder fiasco, bro. The words, and they are slinging some words, man. Let's talk about it. What you got, Harold?
Okay, this is another one where I have to play the foil, and you play who you play, and we'll go like that. Now, I mean, we'll say what we have to say. Okay, Wilder, he's got his rematch, and he's calling for the body. He's calling for the body thing again. I'm gonna kill somebody in the ring. This, that, and the other. Okay, and he wants to decapitate a Fury, and he's going to really beat him up, and this, that, and the other. Okay, now all that talk is good for everyone to see and understand and be excited about. However, the referee is not having none of that. That's not happening. He can say everything he wants to say, but it's going to be clean. There's not going to be any of that. Now, I don't even know who the referee is, but they're not going to insert anyone in there who is not going to be who's going to pay attention to a lot of the clinches and all that kind of thing.
Right.
Because obviously there's a whole bunch of stuff about the gloves and the floppy gloves and all that. So they're going to be really stringent on that.
Right.
Now, in my opinion, he's going to have to try to come forward. When he does, he may run into something. And Fury is looking forward to that. Now, as you know, if you're upset with someone and you're trying to get revenge, you don't think straight. And he's not thinking straight right now, in my opinion. And when he gets in the ring with him, he's still not going to be thinking, he'll be thinking, I am so angry about this and that and the other. And I don't know if he has the discipline to think properly. But I think Shane Mosley, Winky Wright, he just couldn't get over that hump.
Yeah.
He just couldn't, no matter how many times he fought him, he just couldn't get over that hump.
Well, listen, let's rewind this. Let's take it back a second. Let's go right back to where we started, right?
I got to be nicer, Mark. I got to be nicer.
No, man, you got to be you. You got to be you, be authentic. I love your authenticity, bro. You know that. Listen, so the bottom line is Deontay Wilder for a while has been pretty much focused on what he's doing in the ring. We haven't heard too much about, just all that went down, But, the headlines that are coming out now are Deontay Wilder still believes that Tyson Fury cheated in the rematch. And it just goes on and on, man. He's quoted as saying it was the gloves, it was the bicep tear, it was the water, it was, something got slipped into his drink. It was, I think he also said, talking about, my good friend, person who I really do admire,
Mr. Breland.
Mark Breland, it just goes on and on, man. It's like, what is it that has him come out and say just all of these things, including the gloves? There's a photo of the glove, Fury's got the hand out like this and the glove looks like it's coming off his hand or something like that. I don't know if the photo's doctored or if that's actually the photo from the fight or what it is. But, for the fans that are listening in, people out there, y'all know, especially if you're not a casual fan, if you're a little bit more than a casual fan and you follow boxing, then you know that there is a procedure that takes place. And Harold, that being a judge, there's many layers of protection and procedures.
And an inspector. I was an inspector too for 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. So as an inspector, you know that the rules are followed very, very carefully by all of the players. There are more eyes on what's going on than most people realize. And not only are there more eyes, they are looking for very, very specific things coming out of camps, from coaches, from fighters. There are certain things that you're trained to look at. Am I right? To be aware of. And one of those things has to do with the hand wrapping process. And the hand wrapping process is not only overseen by one or more inspectors, but it is also overseen, the opposing team is able to send a representative into the dressing room to observe the hand wrapping process to ensure that everything is 100%, copacetic. And that goes all the way until the gloves are taped. When the gloves are taped, they are written on. There's a marking that goes along with the seam of where the tape is wrapped, and those seams cannot be broken. And as soon as you enter the ring, the referee looks at those seams. The inspector looks at those seams. When the fight is over, they're looking at the seams. When the gloves come off, they take the gloves and they inspect the gloves. And oftentimes in a fight like this, they'll take their hand wraps as well and inspect those at the end of the fight. So
yes.
Was that thorough or not?
Yes, that was thorough. And there's another person, if it's a title fight for whatever sanctioned by WBCA, IBF, they have their inspector there along with all those inspectors and all those other people to look at all of it also. So you have like 4 or 5 sets of hands. The WBC or whoever the supervisor is of a title fight, they will collect those gloves.
Right.
They collect those gloves after it's over. They collect all of it, and they bring the gloves to the arena. They have it in their hotel room that night, and they sleep with them. Yep. And they bring that glove to the arena, and they take it out of their possession and put it directly on the fighter. So those gloves have been they've been under quarantine the entire time. So just like you said, Mark, all those eyes plus the supervisor or whatever sanctioning body. So for some of these things to have happened is pretty sensational.
It is sensational. And I mean,
with all those eyes.
Well, not only that, when you get into the water, when you have a team and your camp is with you and, the water is brought to the venue from outside and the water is administered by the coaches and no one else. And those are things that should really be observed by the team. And apparently, he's claiming that there was something slipped in the water. Now, I don't know about the costume. I mean, the costume being heavy was his choice. He tried it on. Obviously, he had fittings for the damn thing. So I can't imagine that he didn't know what the costume was going to be before he got there. So, you have that, and there's just so many. And I really don't know. I really don't know what to make of that when you see the way he's training. And how, I mean, he's really doing great work with Malik Scott. People are going all over, criticizing what they're seeing or talking about it. And if that's what people do, they talk about stuff. That's what we do. We talk about stuff, right? But in the end, he does appear to have been well-trained. He looks like he's getting stronger. He's getting more balanced. He's getting his punches are more in the box. His maneuvers are more logical. They look more well-trained. And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of things you could say about what you see him doing from a trainer's perspective. But I think that when you see him working so hard and doing that, what do you think, Harold? Do you think it is kind of like he's slighting himself by bringing up all those points in question when in fact, he's training wonderfully, like a champ, like he's ready to go, It just seems kind of odd. What do you think about that?
I truly hope he can actually translate all this work that is out here for us to see. And
you good? You good, Harold? Well, Harold's got some audio problems at the moment, but hopefully he can fix those audio problems and he will be with us shortly. But let me just flip the camera on to me and I will just give you my perspective on it. Yeah, man, I just don't know exactly what's going on with the with all of the talking that's coming out of the Wilder camp. What I do know is it's going to be an exceptional fight. I think that boxing fans, casuals alike, are just really, really excited to see these two gentlemen get in the ring and turn it up. And I certainly am. I hope that we're able to see an incredible fight. I hope it is as dramatic as the last outing. And so with that being said, Harold seems to have stepped off for a minute with a little bit of audio problems. And I think, it's just a really good time to thank you for being on the broadcast and to remember to, find us on Facebook and Instagram, and hit us up on Instagram, get in there. We're on YouTube right down here where you are now, and then Apple Podcast. And on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, share it, send it to some friends. We're trying to build up this platform, and it's kind of difficult when you're coming from Apple Podcasts. We have such a great, loyal fan base there, and moving over to YouTube, actually there's a whole other level of complication in producing your show for YouTube, and I think Harold and I are handling it super well. And Harold, are you back, man? Are you here with me again?
Yes.
Yes. My man is back. Give me a second. Let me throw you right on in. And here he comes. Ba-boom, ba-bam. What's up, bro?
Obviously, there's some lightning going on somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm in a whole nother state, and whatever happened, it happened.
Well, I was getting ready to jump off, man, but I'm going to stay a little bit longer because we had down below, we have the lower third there that says we're going to do Mayweather, Wilder, and Delahoya. So I think before we get cut off with bad weather, because up in the east we are having bad weather as well. Let's rock it out and get into the Delahoya fiasco.
Yes, quickly before we have a lightning strike out there.
Lightning.
Okay, money.
Yeah.
We are talking about a huge shift in Golden Boy's financial situation.
Talk to me.
When Canelo left, they lost 90% of their revenue. 90% of their revenue. They were left with 10% of their revenue when he left.
Wow.
He lost 70 when he had to go to court with Schaefer and Al Heyman.
Yeah.
And he recouped that.
Wow.
Over the time. When Delahoya had his little issue, everyone left. Canelo stayed right there. He stayed loyal to him.
Man.
They didn't speak for 3 years, only through lawyers the past 3 years. Wow. No face-to-face contact. So when they split up, they split up. Now, that is a huge chunk of your business to lose. And you can be bitter at times because you look at your books and you see that thing is gone.
Yeah, we've all been there at some point. If you're in business, you've all been to a place where, we've all been down at the bottom at some point in business because that's what happens, Wow, man. But I can't believe you just said 90% of his business because that is this is what that is, bro.
That's a lot. So
Scary,
he has
man.
to rebound in the sense that he and Bernard are maybe somewhat peeved right now. So they both said some things about Canelo's style and who he ducked and this and that and the other. Kind of like the jilted girlfriend type thing.
Huh.
So.
No, it was more. Listen, now, okay. Now you're being nice about what he said because, he's come out and said, I just saw a recent posting, man, where he was like, Canelo does everything wrong. He's training this young kid and he's showing him how to feint the right and stick the body shot in there, and he's giving him a little pointers on some more advanced techniques and stuff. And so apparently Oscar De La Hoya came out and, he just kind of ripped into Canelo saying that he's flat-footed. He lifts his head up when he throws the hook. Like he just broke into him, man. And I'm like,
and the Charlo thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even opening that can of worms yet. I mean,
okay.
Canelo Alvarez, he's saying that Canelo Alvarez is avoiding Jamal Charlo. I mean, really? Okay.
And he named the wrong one.
Oh, yeah, he did name the wrong one. Yeah. So listen, it's a mess. It's like a freaking train wreck, bro. It's like a train wreck, Harold. So, and then Canelo, being the brassy Canelo that he is becoming, Canelo comes back and fires right back at Oscar De La Hoya, after he was being criticized by Oscar De La Hoya. He comes back and fires right back at him, man. And the words, I try not to use bad words on the podcast, but to really get deep into this conversation, you got to go deep with the words, man. But it's not pretty.
Well, I didn't hear his retort. And I have yet to hear that, but I know that he's in a position where he looks really good.
Harold, listen. Okay, so here, You got to hear the comment, okay? Let me read it to the fans verbatim. These are in quotes, okay? Please, this guy does everything wrong. Head up when he throws hooks. He's on his heels, flat-footed. What else? Oh yeah, that's right. He avoids at Twin Charlo, Jamal Charlo. Like, why? Wasn't that his promoter? Like, how do you do that? I don't know, Harold. Come on, talk to me, man.
Well, just like we just said, it's a jilted type of thing. You know, Mark, when you dump that girl, you know, you had that pretty girlfriend, but you dumped her for a better one, right? And the first one that you dumped, she's like, who does he think he is? You know, the girl you have is better than her. So she's going to say negative stuff just because. And that's kind of how I see it here.
I dumped that girl for the woman that I've been married to for almost 30 years. And when I saw her, this is what happened. All right. That's it, man. That's it. I've been, with the same woman for my whole, man, you don't even go there. I haven't dumped a girl since I was, I don't know.
I'm being hyper, but yes.
I know it's hyperbole. I know what you're being, and I'm just being funny. I'm being silly, bro. I'm just saying, look.
Shout out to Miss Mark.
Yeah.
Miss Mark Roxey.
That's right. Melissa.
Lock the boy down.
Yeah, if she's listening, she might be listening to the podcast.
Mark, you see what I'm saying? It's a jilted. We have the jilted situation here, and they're being jilted. They're expressing their jiltedness, if that's a word.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean.
Now, they'll probably work with him in a year or so when this all blows over, and they'll have a huge fight with somebody, and it'll be all water on the bridge, because they'll make millions again. But right now, it's a sore spot.
Right. Well, what I don't understand is why are they all coming after Canelo? Why? How did Canelo get stuck in the mix of all of this? I don't really understand. They're saying that he's avoiding Benavidez. They're saying he's avoiding, the Charlo twin. But at the end of the day, he's fought everybody they put in front of him, right? I mean, if there's somebody that he's supposed to fight, doesn't it at this point become solely about money? About does this guy bring a box office? Or, because there's a lot of people that have their hands out. And Canelo, what Canelo does has a lot to do with the people around Canelo that are all making boatloads of money from what Canelo does.
You got to bring a good dance partner. Ray Leonard said he ducked Aaron Pryor. Okay, Aaron Pryor couldn't sell. He was a great fighter, good numbers. He did well on TV, but he couldn't sell like Ray. So Ray had to bring in someone he could sell with. And Canelo can't sell with Andre. Canelo can't sell with Charlo.
Yeah.
He can't sell with Benitez. Not Benitez. The pronunciation, Mark?
Wilfredo Benitez?
No, the pronunciation of a young gentleman who's his adversary now. You have Charlo and Benavidez. Yeah, right. Sorry. Okay, at the time, they don't have any box office cachet. Not really. So he's going where it is. And he's at 168. Let him clean out 168. If you guys want to come see him, come up to 168.
Right.
He's not going to go down to 160. There's no need for him to go to 160.
Right.
Let them come in if they want some of that smoke. Right now, let him stay at 168, clean it out, make history. He's number one fighter in our industry. He has the latitude to do what he wants to do. Yeah, so if you want some, move up. If you don't, continue to talk. Just like Floyd said, you're going to pay. You're going to watch me lose, or you're going to watch me win. You're going to pay. So whether he's fighting who they want him to fight, it doesn't matter. They're going to pay.
Do you think they're taking a play? You think they're taking a play out of Floyd Mayweather's book by starting this feud. I'm just putting this out there. I'm asking the question. You tell me what you think. Fans, if you want to, please drop your comments below. I'd love to know what you think. Do you think that Canelo Alvarez, or actually more like Oscar De La Hoya, he's been flittering around the Thriller camp, and the Thriller promotion most recently, and I know there's been talks about him coming back to fight. Do you happen to believe that he's fighting and he's doing all this talking because he wants to get in the ring with Canelo Alvarez? Is that possible?
Well, several pundits today had said that could be a situation because, as we know, Oscar is very rich. And when you're rich, you can get testosterone shots at your whim.
Can you?
And if you're filled up with testosterone, artificial as it may be, you are feeling yourself. You feel like you could actually compete on that level.
Yeah.
So, Oscar always been comfortable with whatever he says because he's a ruler of his kingdom and he's going to say what he has to say. How he feels about it, could be somewhat contrived because of, he's able to get himself to feel and look a certain way. Personally, I think he shouldn't necessarily want to fight Canelo, but it makes great media. It makes great fodder. It makes great speculation. It's great. I mean, they can ride that horse all the way to the end and nothing happens. But in the meantime, it's great to talk about. But I just don't see him doing that. And personally, I don't know if a commission is going to approve that fight because of the age.
No way.
And all of that. And Canelo he's pretty heavy-handed, and he can really hit you.
You might be missing something though. They can approve it as a exhibition as in Mayweather and Logan Paul. I mean, they could do the same thing. It seems like this is what everybody's doing now.
Well, Canelo's not going to do an exhibition while he's a straight pro fighter. That's not going to happen. He's not. He doesn't need it. And well, he's not going to do it because it to me it would kind of tarnish. He's a professional, number one, pound for pound. Exhibitions are not something he would want to do now at no time.
Right.
Why?
No,
Why
it makes no sense. And Canelo's coming off an 8-round stoppage victory over the WBO super middleweight champion Billy Joe Saunders. And that fight took place on May 8th of, just recently. Saunders got dogged in that fight, man. He suffered a fractured right orbital bone and basically his future, we don't even know what's going to happen. We don't know what his
about that surgery. They said that you're stronger, that eye socket area is stronger than it was before it was broken.
Listen, man, I don't want to get hit in my eye. I don't want to get hit back in my eye after, man, maybe for some people, but for me, I would prefer not to get hit in my left eye anymore.
Yes, you prefer not to,
I prefer not to get hit in the left eye because, I had some damage there and it doesn't feel good, Harold, is all I'm saying. And I just don't see, I don't even see I'm not sure if Billy Joe Saunders is actually going to return to the ring. I know he wants to, and I know that it sounds good right now, but time will tell. But my point is that when you step in the ring with a legit 168-pound world champion who's proved himself and his mettle time and time again, and you think you're going to come back. Well, I'm just saying, if Oscar De La Hoya thinks that's where he's headed, he should think again, because that's not even funny, man. That's not even, that's a very, very serious predicament that he's putting himself in, and I would.
It's extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
But see, it's up to the commissions at this point to make the call.
Right.
You're not going to do this in my state. So if you want to go to another state, try it there. But you're not going to do it here. We're not going to have your situation on our hands. Now, that money's going to be so large, they're going to have to really look at it. But, if you look at his last fight, how he was brutalized,
Right.
you have to look at those type of things.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you have to look at it and look at you have to look. I don't care how good you look in sparring or whatever. You just can't take it out. But you just can't take that chance. So, but he'd be great for exhibitions against some of the older gentlemen he used to fight back in the day. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It would be great to see again.
I'd love to see him against Shane Mosley as an exhibition. That would be cute. That would be a nice exhibition. I mean, there's a boatload of people. I'd love to see him fight again. Bring Mayorga back. Where's Mayorga? I'd love to see him fight Mayorga again.
Yes. But to take on in the prime, number one, who will want to exact a little bit of pain on you too. Oh, that's a little bold, I would think.
No, man, I think you're right. I think it's a little bit it's a little bit well, it's just plain old crazy. It's just plain old crazy, man. What? No, because you know where he's going to end up? This is what he's going to get. You're going to hear pap. You're going to hear boom. And then you're going to hear this. And it's not going to be pretty, comical, man.
At his age and the way Canelo hits, he really could be hurt. He really could be.
No, absolutely. Listen,
no
Harold.
punch resistance. This is what, 7 years removed, right? 8 years, 10 years removed. Yeah. He has no punch resistance. And you can't get that, Mark, you know this. Of course you do. You can't get punch resistance over a training camp.
No, you got to get
You have to fight at least 4 times, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Your skin can't even take a punch if you haven't taken the punch in 10 years. Your skin is completely doesn't even know what it's like to He'll cut like nothing. Oh, it's not. It's
yeah.
You know, tonight we've talked about impossible things.
Yeah, man. Yo, listen.
Impossible Floyd Mayweather thing. The impossible, Wilder thing. If he can apply what all this stuff he's doing in the ring, this thing with Delahoya, with nothing's been plausible tonight, Mark. It's just all sheer speculation because it's so one-sided.
And it's the theater of the absurd. I mean, the absurd. Absurd is what it is, man. It's crazy, crazy. But boxing fans, buckle up, brother. Buckle up, people, because there's going to be some crazy boxing coming up this weekend and in the next couple of weeks. So,
but Mark, imagine if it came out the way the fans want. Floyd gets knocked out. Wilder knocks out Fury. And Delahoya gets a fight with Canelo.
And wins.
Imagine the craziness. And that is what's selling right now.
Listen, we're going to be back here talking about one of those 3 things that happened, right? We're going to be talking about what happened in a couple of episodes. So, and also I want to give a big shout out to you. I think that by the time we get together for the next, I think we have one more podcast coming up. We are doing a wonderful podcast coming up soon enough with Miss Claire Burke, who's going to come on, and she is going to talk about, we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful podcast on rehydration, hydration, properly taking care of fighters during training, during sparring, and during and after sparring, and then also in preparation of fights. And, what is absolutely critically important and necessary for all coaches and all fighters to be aware of when it comes to dehydration and rehydration prior to a fight. So I'm excited to have Claire Burke on the program coming up. That's going to be the next episode, I believe. And then I also have a special treat, man, because we're doing a tribute to Father's Day. And I've been assembling a bunch of young fighters and older fighters that all are trained by their fathers or have been trained by their fathers. And really wishing everybody a happy Father's Day. And it's going to be a lit It's going to be a lit podcast. It's going to be a tribute to all the great coaches out there, and even beyond boxing, right? Here's what inspired me to want to do that episode, which is that I really wanted to kind of touch on this idea that it's so critically important to have good male role models in the lives of our young men out there. And what it really highlighting good fathers and what it looks like to be a good father, right, is just so important, especially as it relates to boxing. There's some pretty amazing men out there doing amazing things with their kids and with the kids of other people in boxing. And so, I just think we should all be reminded of that, how important and what a great role boxing plays in the lives of young people, particularly our young men who need direction and need guidance and need to really feel like they belong and that they have the guidance and advice and shepherding of elders, older people. So yeah, I'm really pumped up about doing that. I hope everybody tunes in for that. And Harold, I want to thank you again, man. I always love to talk to you. It's like, I look forward to us getting together and chopping up the news and chopping up what's going on in boxing. I love you, brother. And
same here, man.
Peace and love. And to all of you out there that have joined us, taking your time to be with us on the Boxing Breakdown, thank you. Peace and love. And we are out.
Fight fans, join host Mark Roxey and special guests as they break down all aspects of the boxing world, including news, business, management, training, promotions, fan reactions, upcoming events, matchups, future boxing stars, title fights, state of the boxing world, and all the stuff you don't see when you watch boxing. This podcast is released each week on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live streamed on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook Live. It's the Boxing Breakdown, hosted by Mark Roxey.